Now, moving on to our very next speaker here, and we're going to be moving from Ghana. Now we're traveling, and traveling is very important. So even though we're not on the plane, at least we're traveling. So our second speaker resides in Mexico. She has earned for herself a very nice first degree at la Universidad Tecnología de la Zona Metropolitana del Valle de México, or UTVAM for short. It's a very long one, but we will go with that. Her degree was in English language, and I see she is a very astute one at that. So, ladies and gentlemen, our second speaker for this session is Señorita Circe Ximena Jacuinde. Señorita Jacuinde, please, if you are on the call, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about my beautiful country. First of all, I want to thank this opportunity to be here with all of you, sharing part of my life and of course a part of my childhood, Mexico. First of all, I would like to start talking about of our name. Our name comes from a language from a Mexican civilization that is called Nahuatl, and Mexico, that is pronounced in that way in Nahuatl, is Mexico, and it means in the navel of the moon. Then let's move on to our flag. As you know, Mexico, our flag has three colors. First, green for hope, then white for unity, and red for the blood of Mexican heroes. Then we have our shield. Personally, I think this shield, behind this shield, there is a huge and an amazing story. First, let's review what our flag and our shield has: an eagle, a snake, and also a nopal. There is an amazing story behind this shield. There was a prophecy 1,000 years ago where the god Huitzilopochtli said that a city, in this case, a civilization that is called Mexicas, Huitzilopochtli established that their city should be built on a lake, and in the middle of the lake should be a nopal with an eagle eating a snake. So they were, of course, looking for this place with these specific characteristics, and they got them. And Mexico City was built on a lake. That's why Mexico City nowadays looks like this, like it's thinking because of the water. And this is an image, and this is another one. Then let's move on to our Mexican tradition. The first one, and I think from my point of view, is one of the most important ones, and how we got our Independence Day. This day we celebrated on September 15. And basically, this is an event, a copy of how we got our independence, thanks to Miguel Hidalgo y Costilla. And basically, in this day, all Mexicans meet in the center of the state. Each state of Mexico has a president, and each president give this shout of independence. And then we have fireworks, we have music, live music, and then we go to our houses with our family, and we have dinner with Mexican food, and we are there. It's like basically like a party. Then we have El Día de los Reyes Magos. Basically, the three people who are in the screen son los Reyes Magos, Melchor y Gaspar y Baltasar. As you know, these people were who gave gifts to Jesus when he was a baby. And that's what we do every January 6th. People, in this case, children ask for toys or whatever they want to, maybe cell phones, laptops, tablets. And they write a card and then send it to the sky with a balloon. And that's it. On January 6th, you as a child wake up and you have your toys on the tree. So basically, this is this tradition. Then we have the Day of the Dead, that thanks to movie Coco, you know a little bit about this beautiful tradition. This is the correct way to have this like ofrenda, as we have seen in Coco, and the picture of the photo of your familiar and things that he or she used to love in life. It should be food, bread, candies, cigarettes, water, tequila in the case of your familiar loved tequila in the time, candles, and also flores de cempasúchil. But also I'm going to share some dates that are really important to know for us as Mexican. On October 27 is dedicated for pets. On October 28 is for those souls that are alone, that don't have family anymore. On October 29 is for those who are not remembered, or who for those who have family, but maybe they for religion can't follow this tradition. On October 30 is for those who left life without eating or who suffered an accident. On October 31st is for our great grandfathers and great great grandfathers, and November 1st is for kids. And on November 2nd is for adults. And as I said before, we can add some cigarettes, beer, flowers. And on November 3rd, we basically say goodbye to our dead and ask them to come back next year. Then let's move on to Mexican touristic places. First, we have el Palacio de Bellas Artes, the Museum de Palacio de Bellas Artes, that is located in Mexico City. Basically, here, El Palacio de Bellas Artes exhibits mural paintings, and also is used by the Natural Symphony Orchestra and the National Opera Company and the National Dance Company and Folkloric Ballet. Then I'm going to talk about the Basilica de la Virgen de Guadalupe. As you know, La Virgen de Guadalupe is considered as a Mexican. And here, her church is located in Mexico City. It is said that they built her church here in Mexico City because she appeared years ago, and that's the reason there is a church there. And her birthday is on December 12th. And people during the year ask for a miracle. And sometimes when she performs that miracle, people in her birthday go to visit her, but they arrive to the church by walking in their knees, and they come from different states, Mexico states, and they come from in bicycles and walking. I mean, this is something considered as an effort you do because you are grateful for the miracle she did for you. Then let's move on to the Museum of the Mummies in Guanajuato. This is located in Guanajuato. And basically, when in a cemetery, some graves are abandoned. And normally the government take the person out, but they noticed that they were mummified in a natural way. So now they are. Then let's move on to the Grutas de Tolantongo. Here, these ones are located in Hidalgo. Basically, as you can see here, you can stay there with your family, enjoying the moment, swimming, enjoying the paradise. Because as you can see, there is a beautiful paradise there. And then, yes, you can stay there with your family. But something that is really interesting is that this is hot water. But why is it hot? It is hot because this water comes from different subterranean rivers, and these rivers pass next to volcanoes. So that's why this water arrives boiling to these places. Then let's move on to Frida Kahlo's house. That basically, if you don't know who Frida Kahlo was, she was a Mexican painter, and this is her house. She was really famous, and this is her house. Basically, if you go, you are going to get some information and some objects she used when she lived there. Then let's move on to the Tepec Castle. This castle is located in Mexico City, and basically it was used as a military college, and also was the house of many presidents years ago. And then cenotes, as you know, they are natural freshwater ponds supplied by a subterranean river in Yucatan, and they are known for their deep crystal water and for being sweet water. Then let's move on to Xochimilco. That is, this is located in Mexico City. As you can see here in the images, there are trajineras. Basically, there are those colorful things you can see there, and they have tables, they have chairs. You can have a good moment with your family, eating and listening to music. In this case, mariachi. And also they can put your name on it. They can you can ask for a message or for a name, and then they put them in las trajineras. Then let's move on to Plaza Garibaldi, that is located in Mexico City too. In this place, basically there are mariachis around that place, and you can stay there just listening or eating something, and can ask for a song, like, hey, can you play this song? And they play it for you. That's a good idea. That's a good place to go. Then pyramids de Teotihuacan. As you know, pyramids are a kind of special and amazing for us, and how is their architecture, their structure. And here in Mexico, there is something called equinoccio that happens on March 21st. That basically, when that date arrives, people in Mexican people or whoever can go to the top of the pyramid, receiving the like new energies and good vibes of that day, and they are dressed with white clothes. Then let's move on to Mexican food. I hope you know all of them or some of them. First, I would like to remark that we as Mexicans love corn. Basically, we want to do everything with corn. And tamales are basically corn with spicy things, chicken or pork, whatever you want to put inside. And they could be spicy or they could be sweet. We can eat it in the morning or or at night. We also have zacahuil, that basically is a tamal, as a big tamal, as you can see in the first image. It is a big tamal, and you can add some chicken or pork. And then pozole is basically corn. Pozole is basically corn broth with and we have 3 different colors: green, white, and red pozole. Enchiladas, and basically they used to be spicy sometimes, and it is basically tortilla with chicken and full of chicken, and we eat it with lettuce, cream, and cheese at the top. And then we have cochinita pibil, that basically is pork. You can see that color because we use condiments to cook it, and we eat it with purple onion and also with coriander. Then we have mole rojo, that personally is my favorite one. Basically, this is chicken with some sauce, but this sauce isn't spicy. It's sweet spicy, and we use it eat it with rice. Then we have barbacoa, that basically, but the way of cooking it is really interesting. And you have to make a hole in the floor, and then put some banana leaves inside the lamp, and you close it, let it be like for some hours, and then you take it off, and it's cooked. And actually, it's really delicious, but so expensive. Then carnitas, that basically is pork. Normally, we cook it like as with a bowl, a giant bowl, and you put the pork inside with oil boiling, and that's it. You have your carnitas. They are really delicious. And something that is interesting here is that you can ask for any part of the pork you like most. For example, I want a taco of thong, or I don't know, whatever piece or part of the pork you like most, you can ask for a taco. Then we have some Mexican drinks. First, we have el mezcal, that is made of agave. And as you can see, there is a worm there in the cup. It is normal to eat it when you drink the mezcal. Then we have tequila that is extract by agave azul. And then tenemos el pulque that is extract by green agave. And tepache that basically is derived from the fermentation of pineapple peel. Then we have tejuino. It is based on the corn fermentation. And then we have horchata that is basically rice, sugar, milk, and cinnamon. And then we have jamaica, that is that little plant you can see in around the drink. You boil it, and then you get jamaica. Is pretty good. And the last one is tamarindo, that is basically a fruit. And then we have some of our animals. The first one is the xoloscuincle, that is well known because it has no core. Tenemos el ajolote. We have the ajolote that comes from Xochimilco. And then el chapulín, that is native from Mexico, and also for United States. And we Mexicans used to eat it. Then let's see some Mexican curious data. First, the Chicxulub crater, the one that made the dinosaur extinct, was in Mexico, Yucatan. Then we have La Zona del Silencio, that is an area where it is a kind of a desert, and you are there and everything just goes crazy. If you're with your watch, it just stopped working, your cell phone, your car, everything you have like electric things just stop working. Something that is really interesting from this area is that it is aligned to the Bermuda Triangle. So maybe there is something weird there. And let's move on to a highway that is called La Rumorosa. It is called in that way because the wind seems to be whispering because of the velocity of the wind. And Chichen Itza, that is one of the 7 wonders in the world, that is located in Yucatan, Mexico. And let's move on to some Mexican beliefs. First, we have La Llorona, as we know, or I don't know if you know that story, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. La Llorona was a girl who lost her sons, and that was happening to her. But of course, she was so sad, of course. And nowadays, there are people who have listened to her, and she goes for everywhere saying, "Where are my sons?" and screaming and crying. And maybe right now it doesn't sound like really horrifying, but it is because nowadays there are people who have listened to her. Then we have this funny belief that a knife can stop the rain. Let's imagine that you have planned a party, and when you plan a party, normally you get a lot of time, and you are like with every detail. But let's imagine that you are in the party, and then it starts raining. So you are like, come on, why? So if you want to stop the rain, a knife can stop the rain. You have to stick the knife to the around the flower, and it is supposed to, the rain is going to stop. And let's go to another belief that is called los nahuales. Los nahuales are people who have sold, sorry, their souls to Satanas. So the Satanas gave them the power of immortality, so they can transform into weird, strong, and big animals, and people have seen them. And the last one, the eclipses. It is supposed that when you are pregnant and you know there is going to be an eclipse, you have to put a safety pin, like in that way, like in a crossway in your stomach, in your underwear, because in this way you avoid the hair lip in babies. And yes, so normally when you're pregnant here in Mexico and you know that there is going to be an eclipse, you have to use a safety pin to avoid the hair lip in babies. And thank you so much. That was all for my part, and Viva Mexico.
All right, Señorita Jacuinde, thank you very much for
Thanks.
that very lovely presentation. All right, as usual, we will take a few questions for Señorita Jacuinde. So if you have questions, please do put them in the chats, and let's get it rolling. Any questions you'd like to know about Mexico, or anything you'd like to know about Mexico, about their culture, about their food, which I was really interested in. I saw some very nice meat in there. If you have any questions, please do put them in the chats and let's get them going.
If you don't use the pins, it is supposed that your baby is going to born with this problem of hair lip. Yes, it is supposed to, and unfortunately, this belief is true. I mean, that's a belief, but if you don't use the pin, your baby is going to be born with this hair lip problem. It's just a belief. The La Llorona, about La Llorona is just a belief, but no, it is more a legend. It's more a legend, but more some people don't think about it, just like that's a joke or something like that. But it exists. I mean, I used to think it exists. It depends of each person, but I think it is more a legend. Yes. To get the food in Ghana, I don't know. Maybe you can cook them. It's actually pretty simple to cook some Mexican food. I don't know about some scholarships, but I think actually in the school that I have studied my degree, there was a guy. I don't remember where he was from, but yes, so in my school actually there are some scholarships. So I think if you look for it or on Google, I think you're gonna get a lot of information. But yeah, there are a lot of scholarships that support foreign students. Yes. No, the Mexico's Spanish is like, I don't know how can explain. In Spanish, in Spain, is the accent is the difference. It's difference. If you look for maybe for a conversation between in Spain and then Mexico, there's going to be different. You're gonna notice it. Thank you so much for your comments. Oh, thank you, Lupita. Thanks to everyone. Hope I have solved your doubts. If you have any more questions, you can also contact me through my email. You can ask for it with La Casa de Español, and yes, you can receive more information if you want it. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you once again, Señorita Jacuinde. I just have one final question
Sure.
I am a because I'm a learner of Spanish and I already know English. You are pretty much on the inverse. So you know Spanish and you're learning English. How difficult was that?
How do I learn English? Is that the question? Yes.
Yeah, as in you already have some basic essence, some basis in Spanish, but you learned English. I just want to know the difficulty level.
Okay. I think the way or the language or the level I have is because since I was little, maybe since I was 12 or 11 years old, I I was really interested in learning a new language. In Mexico, it is not used to have this as a subject in the school. You have to look for some courses. You get this subject until you go to the secondary school. But when you are in and sorry, I read the comment and I lost. But yeah, so you have to look for some English courses or English classes and to start with the basic things. Of course, to learn a language is not an easy thing, but if you put some effort and put something that you really want to, you're gonna get it. And with practice, I think practice is one of the most important things to get a new language. Practice, practice, practice. In my school, when I studied the English language teaching career, my university is bilingual. So I think that was also another a key point to reinforce my language, my English language. But of course, I still improving some things. But yeah, I think I don't have any problems. And also, I got like a kind of scholarship 2 years ago to go to the United States. And of course, as I said before, practice is the key because I was talking in English and speaking and of course communicating to other people. So practice is the key everything for everything. To you want to improve your language, you want to improve your grades at school, everything is practice. And I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of websites, a lot of apps, as I said before. And as we have seen before, there are apps, there are conversations, clubs, there are a lot of things that can help you to get this level of English or Spanish. But yeah, there's nothing better as practice with a native, I mean, also. Yes. Sure, I'm going to put my email in the chat so you can contact me and ask me some questions.
All right. Apologies for that. There was a bit of a disconnection on my part. Thank you again, Señorita Jacuinde, for
Thank you
that
so much.
lovely presentation. It was a very nice one, and I enjoyed it.
Thank you so much.